Hi, in this part of the Unity tutorial, we're going to make a character like this one. And when you make a character that's with the arm sticking out like this, that's called T-pose. And the thing that's good for these T-poses is when we want to apply animations to a character. So this is an end result. What we're going to do is start from scratch a new one. So up here is new. Where's new? File, new, right here. Okay, and then I'm going to set my size. I'll just have it up at the max size. So let me put like 200 in there and I'll get the max 126. Right, so let me zoom out. Let me turn on edges, grid, and frame. That just helps me place my objects. And then the first thing I'm going to do is delete what's there. I'm going to start from scratch. Now, I could look around like I'm doing here by holding in the mouse wheel, and I could zoom in and out by scrolling the mouse wheel. And then if I want to move around, I could also use the right mouse button. So take note of my axes there. I'm going to use vector, attach, and down here I could say the size of the cube. So I'm just going to try 6, and that's the size 6. And if I wanted it to be bigger or smaller, I could just change that number like to 20, and that's bigger. But I'm going to go back down to 6. And then I'm going to say vector, this is a 3D cube. I could also just make it a 2D flat cube. And I want to look down at the floor. I want to start off with the legs. So what I'm going to do when I have this, I want to turn on mirror on an axis so that when I'm putting one leg, the other leg's there. Okay, and I'll start off with that. And let me just drag out a foot. Oops. It's okay if it's a little bumped. And then if I zoom in, I could get a little bit more accurate. Hold down the mouse wheel to move up. And then I'm going to use face to make these feet a little bigger. Then I'll pick a color for the pants. And I'll use the voxel thing again. And I'll draw out like some pants over here. So maybe just make that bigger, like 9. Okay, and these are going to be the pant legs. And she could stick out a little bit in the back. Okay. And then to the legs to come up, I'll just use the F and drag up some legs. And then at the top here, I'm going to want the legs to connect. So I'll turn this back on to 3D. And I will just kind of do this. There. All right. Now for the torso of my character, I'll just use combinations of F and drag out the torso. And then I will add on some arms. So I'll go back to V again. And is this too big for an arm? It's kind of like too strong, too big, strong arms. So I'll just put it back to 7. And that's okay. Put it back a little. And I'm going to make a T-pose character. So the arms are going to come straight out like that. Now for his hands and his head, neck. So for the hands, I'll pick some color, like a skin color. That almost looks like orange. Okay. There you go, and I'll just use 2 blocks for his hands, and then a little block for his neck. Then what I'll just do is I'll make a bigger block, maybe size 20. Give him a block head. Okay. Guess a big head is kind of cute. And bam. Okay. So there we go. Now his feet look small, right? We can make his feet bigger if we wanted to. So now I basically have the general outline of a T-pose. There is one thing though, the model, when it just has this solid shape going across, it's not going to be able to bend nicely. So I just want to pick the line, erase, and I still have my mirror on. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to etch out a line in the arm where his elbows would bend. Okay. And you can see it's doing it to both sides. Let's look underneath there, get it. A little mess up, just press undo. There. And another place where that bending action happens, I guess, is in the waist. So I'll get that line going around. Zoom in if I'm having trouble. There. And another place is in the knees. Okay. So I want to add that. And here, just go around. And since I have mirror on, it's happening on both sides. Okay. There. All right, now let me just take a look at this guy. I think his feet are a little too small. So I want to pick him up a little bit off the ground. I could use loop, and X is this way. I think Y is up and down. Nope, Y is back and forth. Z is up and down here. So I'll press Z to go up a little. That way I could make his feet a little bit bigger. And I want to pick that color again that I had with his feet. So I'll hold down the Alt key and right click. Left click, I mean. Hold down the Alt key and left mouse click. And let's try doing it with the face. I'll put it back on attach. Just make his feet a little bit bigger. Okay, and maybe a little deeper. Okay. All right, so say I'm satisfied with that figure. Now just to denote where his face is up here, I'm going to push down the mouse wheel. I just want to drag it down a little and then zoom in with the mouse wheel. And now I'm going to use the paint command to paint some eyeballs. So I pick color white and V, and I'll go back to the 2D and I'll just make the shape a little bit smaller. Let's see, about 8 for size. Let's see if that looks right. Ooh, those are too big, so let's try half of that 5. It's kind of small, but I'll work with that. And then we give them some pupils. And that's too big, so maybe 2. There we go. And if I want, I guess I could put a mouth there. That way we know where the front of his face is. And I could keep going on. But right now, this is all I'm going to do for the man. So now I'm going to save it. And this is saving to the MagicaVoxel folder. This is the folder where the program exe is. And I just give it a name. I just call him man01. Okay, and then you're going to see in here, alphabetically, there's man01. But this is great for MagicaVoxel. I need it for my Unity program, so I'm going to export as an OBJ. When I export as an OBJ, that's a format that Unity could read. So I'm just going to put it on my desktop. And on my desktop, once I select the desktop, I'm just going to create a folder to put this all in. I'm going to name the folder man01. And I double click to go in that folder, and here's where I'll save my man01 object file. Now the reason I made a folder is, here's the new folder that I just made, is because when you look into the folder, there's the object file, there's the material, and here's the PNG with the colors. So it's 3 files basically. So that's why I made it a folder. So on my desktop, it's nice and neat. So here's this first step of us doing our walking man project, making our own man character in a T-pose, or it could be a girl character if you wanted to. And the next step will be to apply, get some animations from Mixamo. So meet me there at the next step.